So I'm going to be working on this picture because it's a tile I found. I found two tiles. This is the other one that I've already worked on, and this particular um, picture is of the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge of Florence, a city where I used to live for over 23 years, and I had to leave it because of visas and things like that. So I had to leave because my mother was ill and I had to look after my mother. So when I went back to my country, then there was a unified Europe, and then it got very difficult for me to do visas and things like that. I think after 23 years they should have given me residency. There were 10-year residency cards, but they didn't do that. They didn't give me my residency card. I asked for I did ask for it, but for some reason, they didn't want to do it. And I guess you have to you have to pay somebody, That's the way things work in Latin countries, everybody has to. It's just like Mediterranean kind of work. And I was, I wasn't very clever about it, so, I shouldn't be complaining. But, in Germany, you get a residency and things like that after only 5 years. Well, I guess in my next life things will be different, So anyway, this is the Ponte Vecchio, which is which is a monument, and it survived the Second World War. Hitler didn't want to, damage it, so that was very nice of him. Thank you. And there's a Corridoio di Vasari, which is this one here, that connects the Uffizi with the palace on the other side of the river called Palazzo Pitti. So it's a very important monument because in those times, in the 15th century, 14th, 15th century, people didn't, people of certain rank, they didn't used to walk in the streets. They used to have towers, live in towers. This is one of the towers, and they kind of floated on top. They didn't go down to the normal people, to the normal populace. And so today I'm doing this on a tile because I found these tiles in the street, and I'm in the outskirts of Paris, and you find a lot of things, people do work in the house, construction, this and that, wallpapers, once I found wallpapers. So, I always have a trolley with me, and, a shopping trolley, and I try to haul back things uh, and use them when I can. So so this is what I did in this case. You know, I hold back the tiles, and there were only two of them, so you know that's what I can do now. And I thought, well, maybe I'll make a short um, video talking about my life's work, because I made maybe a couple of hundred of these, and in the early 2000s, because I had a studio, and I had some people, some women, work on these as well, you know, and we produced a lot and we sold a lot of them, and that was nice. But you know, now I guess I'm older and I can't do much of the same kind of work, you know. This is the Forte Belvedere, which is a fortress on top of the city, looking down on the city. And in the summertime, you know, they have events here. It has a beautiful view of the city. And you know, on the way there you see the Michelangelo, the wall of the city, created by Michelangelo, designed by him. And so it kind of blends in with that. I usually do the city wall as well, but in this one I don't have the space to do that. So this one here is the San Miniato Church, which has 5 doors really. I'm just putting these ones here, and and this is the River Arno, which is a kind of actually there was in the 60s a moment where the river overflew. You know, there was a uncontrolled waters, and so some shops got damaged. This is Ponte Vecchio is now a center for luxury goods, and I was working there when in my 20s for the Ricci family, and Mr. Ricci told me that there had been a flood, and that they got damaged because the other side didn't get damaged, but you know, they were on the let's say the right hand side of the on the other side, and so you know, it wasn't it wasn't equally distributed, and so, but I mean, that didn't happen again, you know. The river didn't rise up and you know, do that kind of damage, but there's a beautiful campsite just next to the Michelangelo wall on top of the hill, and I stayed in that campsite. There's a beautiful view of the city because there's well, I mean, there now, I think there are 2 of them, 2 campsites, but before there used to be only this one. And So if anyone wants to go there, you have a beautiful view of the um, all the buildings and all everything. But I mean, beautiful is nature is just really a bus ride away. So if you take a bus, um, you go, you reach the Chianti country, and you can taste the wines and buy olives and olive oil and things like that. So yeah, beautiful countryside is very close by, and as somebody I know used to say, you just have to, you can just walk to the countryside, if you're in into walking. And yeah, and so um, uh, the my university years, I used to know a girl who was living just like right near in on the outskirts, and Lucilla, Lucilla, one Florentine girl, she invited everybody to her house for dinner once, and that was on the road to the countryside. Um, I don't. She was a art historian student, and I mean that was the best time I had at university. But then also there was the Ricci family, who used to have a shop here on the bridge, and Anna, who was our age, the age of the shop assistants, she had a party once, a birthday party at her house, and she was living in the countryside, and that was really fun. I took a lot of people to that party because at that time I knew some students of art, and it was 30s, and so a lot of people have these villas on the outskirts, but I used to live in the center. So actually, in the beginning, I used to live in Via Maggio, which is right on this side, let's say on the right side of the river. From here, from me, from where I'm sitting, and so I'm also working on this one here because I have so much to do, and so when I was living in Via Maggio, I used to cross over the bridge and go to my shop and work in the center, luxury goods, and so I got to know people in the area. And then I changed and went to work for the Ricci family. I've written all about this experience in my book called A Time for Dreamers, which I suppose you can find online. It was on Amazon. It was for sale for some time. So but if you want a copy, I can send you one um, for free, because it's an old version, and I want to write a new version, but I haven't been able to yet. Um, so that was when I was working here on the Ponte Vecchio. It was Princess Diana's wedding. I think it was 1984, 85, and she and her husband came to Florence, and that was a big deal because they walked in this Corridoio di Vasari, which is a historic monument in the on the bridge, and it it goes from the Uffizi to the um, Palazzo Pitti, and they're all, it's a gallery. They have portraits and things, but you have to go there on appointment. You can't just go walk in. You have to buy a ticket first, and it's kind of a bit difficult to do it. I've never done it, but you can go on this Corridoio di Vasari. So I've had so many different periods in the city, all my youth really, from 25 till 50. I was living here, and that was a good period. So this is my first attempt of doing this online. I mean, live. A longer version. So I'm going to make another one afterwards when I finish.